Alright. Everybody chill out. Let your boy handle it. So, a couple people in the community, they complaining about Gotham Knights being pushed back to 2022, which means that they probably are not going to release Suicide Squad in 2022. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the gaming jury of an executioner, because you guys like to execute people's character and try to complain and feel like they pay enough attention to your complaints versus your feedback. Okay, so let us not rule out the fact that they're not going to release Suicide Squad in 2022. And let's not get past the fact that Gotham Knights will do the same thing. Okay, it is possible that they might do it up, but it's not likely we're going to get both games in the same year. I will say that. Those games are way too close in terms of release windows. And by the way they phrased it, they said they were talking at least summer of 2022 for the Suicide Squad, and now they're talking about quarter 2 of 2022 for Gotham Knights. So again, we're talking about like 3-4 months apart from one another. However, what is at this point at least, what makes the most sense out of the whole thing is off the concept that now that we don't have that release window, we might get the Suicide Squad till just first. Now, if you look back on it so far, a lot of Suicide Squad related media has been trending in the course of the last few weeks, and regardless how most people try to view that concept as they want to, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, considering the Suicide Squad made its re-emergence in the DC Cinematic Universe and has gotten James Gunn behind the wheel of directing it, there's a lot of hype train behind this. And being realistic, it wouldn't surprise me considering E3 is coming up and they're going to do another DC Fandome this year as well. We still have a lot of information that we're going to get. And on top of that, if you even look at the official Twitter page of Gotham Knights, they said they're going to bring information about it in the next coming months. And the coming months, in this case, are San Diego Comic-Con, E3, DC Fandome, all of that. And again, Suicide Squad is also coming out this year as well. So the hype train is about as deep as it needs to go at this point. But like I said, get on my level when I say this. If by the way that by reading that little comment on Twitter, it made me actually think about whether or not we would see Suicide Squad again. Now they're talking about all this good stuff. There's going to be more downloadable characters, blah blah blah. They said it's going to be multiplayer. Now, in all honesty, I would prefer that than anything else. I'm not gonna lie. I would prefer they take time doing it versus trying to, give us a half-assed game like we got with Cyberpunk. I would rather us not have to deal with that at the same time. And then let's not forget how much of a flop Avengers was. So don't get me wrong, a standard superhero or supervillain, team-up film / video game in that case, I would rather they just take their time. And hey, I'm not complaining about none of that. I'm not complaining, but I am enjoying the whole scenario, like DC Fandome, E3, San Diego Comic-Con, whether they be virtual or they be in person, it's not up to me, it's not up to anyone, it's up to COVID to determine that. So whatever their excuse was, it definitely is at that degree. Like, they got enough hype behind the games. No doubt. They got enough hype behind the games. And as far as I'm concerned, I would rather they take their time with those games instead of just getting that standard multiplayer beat 'em up or hack and slash that ends up being complete crap. We've had games like that, and I think we are a little more deserving of a much more qualifiable game at this point. Because they failed with Cyberpunk 2077. They've been trying to dig it out of the hole Anthem was supposed to be on PS5. They took Anthem off the list completely because it just didn't do well. Even Avengers had to pull itself out of the mud after being out for almost a year. And then somehow simultaneously drop a bunch of new trailers, which yet again riding the hype train for another character, even though we did lose Chadwick Boseman in the summer of last year. So my synopsis with it is this. I believe the Suicide Squad is going to probably be perfect. Now, I say that because they did mention that they were going to split the teams up and work on both games, if not one at a time. So the fact that they pushed back Gotham Knights is even more credit to them. It's much more credible now because that means that they have shifted their entire intention of doing anything with the game at the moment, but also simultaneously doing the work that they did on Suicide Squad Kills Justice League. So, while I understand everybody's frustration, ladies and gentlemen, please understand, it's all part of the process. Please, respect the process. Don't worry, I'm hyped with you, don't get it twisted. I'm always up for this. I'm always up for these conversations. But if we don't give these developers time to do this while they do what they have to do to keep food on the table and working in a global pandemic, yeah, we should definitely be a little more gratifiable than that. Just saying. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys have to say. Hit me on Twitter, hit me on Instagram, whatever. I'm always here. I'm always willing to chop it up with y'all.